Welcome back to PatternCast Market Talk. And today we're going to talk about the service. The service has been pretty exciting, pretty darn exciting over the past several weeks. Actually, it's been pretty darn exciting since we started this thing back in October of last year. Volatility is down right now, and most people who are running strategies are having a hard time finding trades, but PatternCast just seems to keep on coming with it.
Yeah, and today was one of those days. There were these signals that got triggered that if you thought this was coincidence, you'd have to be like a psychic or some sort of crazy Kreskin-like, Merlin-like magician to get some of these trades in advance the way that PatternCast is signaling this stuff. And it's really neat to see it happen on a day like this where you could have been on the wrong side of the market and PatternCast got people in on the right side. And I wanted to talk about that. But before I did that, did you have an announcement that you wanted to make?
Yes, I did. For the longest time, actually since the beginning of the service, we've been offering the service from my website, traderfutures.com.
You know what? Why don't you just save that for the end? I would say stick around till the end because you have some announcement you want to make. I know what it is, but they don't. Okay. I want to, if I can, I just want people to look at the screen, and this is what goes out every evening if you're a PatternCast member. It is a simple email that says your new signals, here they are below. And it's very cut and dry. There's no guessing. There's no ambiguity. There's no fudging. It is what it is. So, and these are the signals that PatternCast sent out. And the way these signals work, you are only buying or only selling based on a specific entry price. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
So it's sort of like a scenario that it sets up for you.
Right. It says if this happens, then PatternCast says this other thing statistically is a probability. So last night in equities, there were two equities that were suggested or signaled, and one was the diamonds and one was Tesla. For futures, there was Australian dollar, British pound, Canadian dollar, cotton, copper, heating oil, live cattle, the NASDAQ, and then the 10-year note.
Now let's be clear. We trade all of these things, so we have almost all of the major futures products, almost all the major forex products, and a growing list of equities or stocks and ETFs.
Right. So every evening, PatternCast will scan through all of these, looking for very specific patterns they're really rare. I mean, the kind of stuff PatternCast finds. Maybe a pattern that happens let's say on Tesla. It might be a pattern that's happened 10 to 20 times over thousands and thousands of rows of data. These are very complicated algorithms. And so last night, PatternCast said, this pattern is setting up, and if Tesla hits 216.46, then it's a buy. And then the exit is 230. Now, I want people to understand that this is all in advance. Nothing about this is after the market opens. This is stuff which is the night before, not based on the data of the next day. It's based on the data of...
So from a trader's point of view, they can get the signals, set up all their trades the night before. They don't even have to watch the market the next day.
You know what? I don't watch the market. I mean, I don't. Right. I literally have no concept anymore of what it means to sit
So they set up all these trades, and then they just revisit them the next day or within the next 4 days. A huge percentage of them that hit at least 50% of the target. Another huge percentage that reach 100% of the target.
It's an interesting number, and that 70% at least make it to 70% of the target. So 70% of 218 or 19 trades.
These are generous targets too. I mean, we're talking.
Right. I mean, so yeah, like the target on Tesla, for example. Let's go back to the last night's signals. All right. So yesterday, Tesla closes about 226, and if you look at the screen, the entry was 216.46, and you'll be able to see this when you watch the video, Ernie. You can't see it now, but you'll see it when you watch the video. Well, you saw it in real time today. So
sorry.
Okay, so the low today down here was 216.35. Tesla came down to 11 cents below the entry and moved up within an hour 4 points, so $3.99 or whatever. Well, from the low it was 35 to... I'm not good with math. It's like $4. And it made this incredible move back up within the next hour. And that was you talk about, what if I told you yesterday, buy Tesla at 216.46, what would be the odds at 226 you would have even believed it would have got there?
Yeah, I'm saying, man, where do you come up with that?
Okay, well, look at this one. Here's another one that happened today. Let's look at BP. BP is the British pound. And so in the British pound, that was a sell today. And I'll go back and look at the email. And the British pound was a sell. Now, Ernie, these, if you thought the Tesla trade was ridiculous in terms of the laser beam entry, look at this one. British pound, this is last night's session. This is last night. This is the email we sent to our members. The sell entry was 127.76, 1.2776. And the cover on that sell was 127.22.8 or 127.23. If you use a broker that goes 4 digits, 127.23. So check this out.
And keep in mind where the signal started when you first put it out there.
Yeah. It's
8 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So look at this over here on the left-hand side. You're talking about, the signals created when it's about at 127.
Right.
So PatternCast is saying at 127 on the British pound. At 127.76, there's a sell. Now watch this, Ernie. This is totally unbelievable. Well, unless you're a PatternCast member, then it's not unbelievable. It's what happens. The high today, look at the screen. The high was 127.76 once, and then again, a couple hours later, 127.76 again. And so you had twice the sell signal was triggered during the day. And look at this. The low was 127.19.
Wow.
4 ticks below the exit. The next one I want to look at is the Australian dollar. Now, the Australian dollar was what we call a break trade. Now, that's when it's moving up and we want to buy it on the way up in hopes that it continues to move higher. The entry on that was 0.6928, the exit 0.69526, or rounding up 0.6953. Ernie, check this out. Remember, got to be clear, these were sent out last night. This is before the session even begins, or before the overnight. Back up. It was
around 0.690.
Okay, right. So before these prices are happening. So check this out. So we'll take a look here at the AD chart, and you can see that 6928 happens, I don't know, sometime 2 o'clock in the morning, somewhere there. But the high on the session, Ernie, was I want people to look at the screen. I'm going to zoom in on this. The high was 0.6953. And that happened not once, but again twice over a couple hours. Ernie, the high on AD was literally 0.6953 on the session. Breakout happens, hits 0.6953, comes back down, and that was the best you could have gotten out of that, no matter how you tried, and that was signaled the night before.
Wow.
And there's 2 more I want to talk about. And by the way, we're only talking about the ones that got triggered. That's what I'm saying. We're not cherry picking here. This is what happened. There's all the ones that didn't trigger are irrelevant. Those scenarios didn't happen, but the ones that did trigger is what we're showing you.
Right.
The 10-year note, symbol TY. Check this out. Okay, so check out the chart on TY. And TY was one this morning. In fact, let me show you the email. The signal last night on TY.
So TY is the trade station symbol. On most other platforms like Thinkorswim and many others, it's ZN.
All right, so ZN on other platforms, TY on TradeStation. It's a 10-year note. That was a sell at 128.287705. Well, that's just a very specific number that in terms of the way the ZN or the TY trades would be accounted for as 128.09. Okay, it's 128. It's 128 point, because the 0.287705, you multiply that times 32, and it ends up being 128.09. 08.
So in our PatternCast signals, we're putting it out in digital form,
right?
And you need to convert it to the fractional.
That's correct. So
the Treasuries are one of the few futures contracts out there that are still using fractional pricing.
That is correct. So on that signal, it translates to 128.085 or 128.09. So if you have a platform that trades these future, the 10-year note, 128.09. Well, check this out, man. This is totally unbelievable when you look at this. And just so people understand, again, 128.28 is the equivalent of 0.28 times 32, and that's where you get the 0.08 or the
right.
0.0. Okay, anyway.
It's 830 seconds.
Right, 830 seconds. Okay, the high. Now remember, again, the signal it goes out when it's at 127.27, but it moves to 128, 128.08, then 128.08.5, and then collapse there into the close. And the cover target was 127.887935. Again, a very PatternCast is a computer, okay? It's looking at these numbers digitally, but that translates. Yeah, that translates to, let's see, 0.887 times 32 is 28. So the cover target would have been 127.28. And Ernie, the low was 127, I think, 21 after that. That is, again, a laser beam on that signal, and both the entry and the exit. Now, in full disclosure, we had another signal today, CD. CD was a short, and CD.
That's the Canada dollar, which is also 6A. I'm sorry, 6C in Thinkorswim.
Right. And I want to conclude with the Canadian dollar, because the Canadian dollar was a short at 75.66, which look at the screen, you can see where that line is right there. And right now it's underwater by about 40 ticks. So that trade's underwater. Meanwhile, Tesla, Australian dollar, British pound, 10-year note, these were crazy entries, crazy exits, amazing laser beam entries on that. And the Canadian dollar, I don't know where it's going to go. It's got a 4-day window, but
so let's just make sure that people understand that when a trade is triggered on the nightly signals, those signals are only good for the next session. If they trigger, then we hold them up to 4 days. We give it up to 4 days. Of course, you can take your profit anytime you want. Or get out of the trade anytime you want. But after 4 days, we don't track it anymore.
Right. Well, so, and there's a reason for that. It's complicated math, but just assume for a moment that we have a 4-day target window and all this. For my part, I want people to understand I'm concluding with the CD trade because I don't want people to think that you just come out here and go, look at all these fantastic trades. They are great signals. They are, listen, this is what's, here's the deal. What you see is what you're getting here. These signals are sent out the night before with specific entries, specific exits. There's no ambiguity. There's no guessing. It is what it is. That's the bottom line. And if you could show me a system where I'm going to get, on a day like today, 3 things which outright hit targets, the entries were just focused like a crazy surgeon's laser on entries and exits. One in Tesla that's up $4 at the close after, again, a spooky entry, crazy laser beam entry. And then you're down in the Canadian dollar. If you're telling me 4 out of 5 today, that's crazy. That is something. It's ridiculous. And so I would say to people that I know you've got an offer here. You're going to make a special deal or something, or some kind of, I don't know what you're doing, but I would just tell people, if you think that we cherry pick these results, we don't. You need to look at this and come in, and if you're a trader and you're looking for some kind of edge or something, you ought to come in and check this out. Get these emails.
So speaking of that, we do have a special deal. I mean, and this is all in line with our launching of our new site, PatternCast.com. If you use the code PATTERN, you'll get a significant discount off of the monthly and the quarterly price, and you'll get a 1-week trial. So a 1-week trial for about $1. and then a $50 discount on the monthly price. And
wait.
That's going to be only lasting until the end of this month. So if you lock it in, you get that price forever.
So I didn't know that. So you're saying there's a 1 week free trial as well?
That's right.
Okay, so listen, I mean, I didn't know you were doing that. So that makes this even more incredible to me, because if you're a trader, you need to take this $1 deal. And you know what's funny, man? Just think about this. Where are the people arguing and complaining about how crappy this service is? Where are they? Look at the testimonials at the website.
Look at the testimonials.
Yeah, I mean, go to the website and look at the testimonials at the website.
Now, I want to say something about that. Some people might say, well, you're just cherry-picking the testimonials, too. But that's not true either.
That's not true either.
We've developed a relationship with one of the biggest introducing brokers in the world, and they have scrutinized our service. And we are now, we are becoming, or we are a preferred advisory resource for this broker.
Yeah.
And they don't look at these results and say, well, you can't just cherry pick. They check that, make sure we put the proper.
No, wait, let's be clear about this. The people you're talking about have literally been in the live trading room, and almost, I mean, I see them in the room every day. I don't know if they're watching every minute, but they're on the mailing list. They get the emails. We've talked with them personally. I mean, this is what I'm saying is, and I'm not good at marketing or anything, so I'm gonna probably, I should just shut up, I guess. I don't know, but I'm excited about this because these are signals sent the night before, and these are not in any way cherry picked, and this is not like we're just picking one random day like out of nowhere. The people need to come in and check it out. If you're a trader and you trade futures, forex, if you trade equities, and you're looking for an edge, I'm honored to have discovered these algorithms. I think it's crazy, and I'm excited about it, and I hope that people will come in and take your offer of $1 for a week. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, a week trial, and on top of that, if you use the code PATTERN, you'll get $50 off on each interval. So, like every month, you'll get a $50 discount for as long as you have the service. But that's only good until the end of the month for another 10 days.
10 days over there. All right, well, that's all I wanted to show you. I always go long when I do this. I apologize, but I just want to be very specific about what we're looking at here. And these entries, if you rub your eyes and you see these entries and you think, oh, well, they're cherry picking. No, we're not. In fact, we're not even talking about the buy on oil from a week or so ago. That was, and that's a whole other video we could do on that. The buy on oil was ridiculous.
We publish all of our results too, so they're all there on the site for you to see.
Yeah, right.
We haven't published right up until the end of last month, and at the end of this month, we'll have all the June published results up there too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Well, come on.
Take advantage of this this deal. I mean, it's not going to be here for long. Another 10 days, 10 days, and then that's it.